disagreements. Do you think that Jake's gotten better as a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting an old guy.
Dana White has confirmed the shocking fight between Jake Paul and Conor McGregor, leaving fans and fighters stunned. How did a YouTuber turned boxer earn a chance to face off against such iconic names? It's baffling that Paul, who hasn't faced experienced fighters in years, is now matched up with McGregor, a veteran.
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And
he's
two,
not his own boss.
And two,
The ironic reality of Jake Paul's rise in the fight game is that it's not just about skill, but about making money. Dana White has been saying this all along. It's all about the spectacle, the drama, and the payday. Now, we're left staring at what feels more like a circus act than a real fight. Intro 3.
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And two,
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might.
And it's funny to say, like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box him, but it's
Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor, a matchup that once seemed like a fever dream, is now a real headline. Dana White himself has confirmed this surprising showdown, leaving fans in disbelief.
Jake Paul, Conor McGregor, is that fight happening or what?
Probably not, no.
Are you closed off to it completely?
I'm never...
Dana White, who once dismissed Jake Paul as a TikTok clown trying to play in the real fight world, is now shaking hands and making deals, turning the combat sports universe upside down. If this isn't the wildest twist in MMA history, I don't know what is. But the real question is, why now? Why Jake Paul and why Conor McGregor? It turns out, it's not just some random cash grab, though let's not pretend the money isn't obscene. There's more at play here, and it's about spectacle, timing, and the massive payday for everyone involved.
Than what him and his brother are doing, you know what I mean? I'm looking for the absolute best in the world. These guys who have trained their whole life, they fight in these smaller shows and then they make it to the UFC, and we put the best.
This move by Dana White is all about staying ahead in the fight game, tapping into a new audience while keeping longtime fans hooked, even if they're grumbling. With Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer, now stepping into the octagon, it's a fight that disregards tradition and rules. And honestly, that's what makes it genius. Whether you hate it, love it, or tweet angrily about it, one thing's certain, you're still going to watch.
like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box him, but it's.
Let's talk about Jake for a second. He knows how to stir the pot. Remember when he publicly called out Conor McGregor? No weight class, straight MMA challenge. Bold move.
Tonight, but at the same time, you can't lose sight of the fact that man 58. But I'm not disappointed about it because it's a 58-year-old man that got whipped himself in that kind of shape to come in here and at least stand.
Especially considering Jake just bulked up to fight Mike Tyson, the literal icon of knocking people into oblivion, even at 58. Jake beat Tyson and now believes he's ready to take on the Irish tornado, Conor McGregor. Bold, to say the least.
He has a big name in the UK. The Pauls, that Tyson fight is just a strange one to me. I hope Tyson takes his nose off. I'm sure at some stage. We'll go.
Conor didn't take the insult lying down. The guy practically invented trash talk as an art form. He fired back, calling Jake Paul the biggest pissbag I've ever seen. Jake didn't back off though. He kept trolling, tweeting, dropping videos, and cranking up the intensity until it became impossible to ignore. And guess what? It worked. What started as a simple fight has now turned into a full-blown spectacle. It's the kind of event you talk about with your friends, even if they don't follow MMA. It's bigger than just a fight now.
YouTuber nerds could be like, I would consider that a nixer. Your uncle's friend needs a radiator fitted in his house, so he'll do a side job and get a side pay.
Jake Paul's timing is spot on. After victories over Nate Diaz and Tyson, he's not just riding high on confidence, he's practically surfing a massive wave of self-belief.
To say like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box him, but it's truth. And look at him go toe-to-toe with Nate Diaz, who...
This fight isn't just about Jake's ego or Conor's comeback. It's about the future of combat sports. Jake Paul stepping into the MMA cage marks a seismic shift. Jake versus Conor is bigger than MMA and boxing. It's the ultimate crossover event, where a YouTuber takes on a legendary fighter.
Has 2 fights left on his fight deal, but the UFC is trying to renew their rights deal because they license their content, which are the fights, to platforms. So they're trying to renew their deal with their negotiating multiple people, but let's say it's going to go with...
Let's not pretend Conor's just sitting pretty here. He's got 2 fights left on his UFC contract, and the timing is perfect. With the UFC negotiating its broadcast rights deal, having Conor headline a fight gives them massive leverage. Dana White isn't just booking fights, he's playing a whole different game of chess, positioning for major power moves.
He's not his own boss.
And 2, he won't do it. He knows better. He might
And it's
say,
funny to say like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box him, but it's the...
Here we are, watching Jake Paul tweet his way into a fight no one thought possible, while Conor McGregor, the king of comebacks, prepares for what could be the most bizarre and talked about clash in fight history. Is it about respect? No. Is it about legacy? Maybe for Conor. Is it about money? Possibly. But more than anything, it's about 2 worlds colliding in the loudest, most chaotic way imaginable.
And get him the most amount of money. So a part of that negotiation is, hey, we have Conor McGregor for 2 more fights. But if he were to fight now, that wouldn't be a part of the negotiation.
Conor McGregor's contract situation is so dramatic, it could outshine any soap opera. He hasn't stepped into the octagon in over 2 years, and the real reason lies in the UFC's ironclad contract clauses.
Conor for one fight. So that's why Conor's not fighting right now. And this is what they do to the fighters is if you sign the contract that you didn't sign, if you win, then you're like locked in for 3 more fights or something like that. And there's each contract is different, but you basically don't want to win because then...
For McGregor, the UFC basically owns him until he fulfills his contractual obligations. With the UFC deep in negotiations over their broadcast rights deal, having a name like Conor McGregor involved gives Dana White immense leverage. Dana's no fool. McGregor has been vocal about feeling controlled by the UFC and has even hinted at potential legal battles if he doesn't get the fights he desires. However, this fight with Jake Paul could be Dana's masterstroke. It aligns the UFC's needs with McGregor's desire for a lucrative fight, making it a win-win for both parties and potentially easing tensions in their ongoing relationship.
He shouldn't even be fighting Conor McGregor. These guys are huge. He's huge. His brother's huge. I mean, what's your brother, 6'1"?
Yeah.
210?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor's 145, 155 pounds.
Oh, he fights that low. I thought he fights like 160. I thought he fights like
He's looking a bit
165,
thick now.
170,
He's looking a bit.
Conor McGregor shattered his leg in that fight against Dustin Poirier, leading to a long layoff. In the fight world, ring rust is real, and McGregor's time away could be a factor. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has stayed active, bouncing from fight to fight like he has something to prove. And let's face it, he does. Then, there's the issue of weight. Jake Paul walks around at a solid 190 ounces, while McGregor has fought most of his career at 155 ounces. That's a 40-pound gap, which in combat sports might as well be a chasm. How will that play out in an MMA fight? Will Jake's size and power give him the edge, or will McGregor's speed and technique prevail over the younger fighter?
What about you and Conor McGregor? Are you interested in that?
Yeah, he'll never do that though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract.
Let's not underestimate Jake Paul's rising reputation. He's gone from a punchline to a legitimate figure in combat sports. Sure, purists still roll their eyes, but even they can't deny the numbers. For Conor, this fight is a chance to remind everyone who he is and prove that, despite injuries, time off, and distractions, he's still the notorious one.
Paul saying he was banned from all UFC events and then put the costume on.
Yeah, nobody's banned from the UFC. Listen, that kid knows how to mark.
Dana White, who spent years scoffing at Jake Paul like a nuisance buzzing around the UFC's greatness, has just pulled the ultimate plot twist. He greenlit Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor. Let's be honest, this isn't just a fight, it's a gamble. Dana's rolling the dice as if his entire Las Vegas empire depends on it.